ganchitos de ropa y televisor.
We gotta close it off. Let's close it away. Let's. Oh shit, baby!
On September 11th, 2025, just a few weeks ago, a man from Mexicali, Mexico, shared a chilling experience. See, nearly every night around 3 a.m., he hears persistent knocking at his front door. Yet, every time he opens it, no one is there. And from the very first night he answered the door, he began noticing an old, unsettling woman standing outside of his house, just silently staring at him through his windows. Jeez, and one night, he determined to confront the stranger, and he decided to do that by waiting for the knocking. And when it came, he rushed to the door, only to find nothing there once again. But the following night, the situation escalated. He awoke to the sound of movement inside of his home, followed by a familiar knocking echoing throughout the quiet darkness of his house. On yet another night, after hearing an unusual sound, he opened the door to discover a plant root lying on his doorstep. And soon after, he began noticing a black cat staring directly into his window at 4 a.m., eerily reminiscent of the old woman's fixed gaze. Because of these strange and repeated occurrences, the man has become convinced that the woman might be some type of witch that can turn from cat to human at will, attempting to gain entry into his home. And all I know, if I saw this, I would not be meeting her at the door. I'd be calling the cops. On February 21st, 2025, a woman named Dua Lupe was staying at a remote cabin she had rented for her sister's birthday. And late in the evening, she noticed what appeared to be another, smaller cabin just across from where she was staying at. And see, this one looked old and abandoned. Its front door was slightly open, swaying gently in the wind. And curious about this, Dua took out her phone and decided to record as she went to check it out. Very typical, but what she captured next is deeply unsettling.
Estoy quedando en una cabaña por el cumpleaños de mi hermana y enfrente hay como una cabaña así, como pero abandonada, chiquita. Y es como una casita del árbol, así como para niños, no sé. O sea, pero se ve muy tenebroso. No sé si se vaya a caer esto porque está como todo podrido. Y no veo como para encender las luces ni nada. Mira, allá está la cabaña. Y... No tiene luz. Hay como una mesa, hay ganchitos de ropa y televisor.
As she approached the cabin, the front door suddenly slammed shut with a violent force, startling her so badly that she just screamed and ran back toward her own cabin in terror. What she didn't realize at that moment was that just before the door slammed, there was something or someone that was right there watching her. When the footage was later reviewed, a dark figure could be seen peeking out from behind the door, then quickly retreating inside. Whatever it was seemed to have glowing eyes and a faintly illuminated mouth, unlike anything human. Dua Lupe never returned to that cabin again, and to be honest, a pair of glowing eyes and a dark cabin in the woods, it could have been a number of things that she might have encountered that night. What do you guys think? On March 8th, 2025, a woman named Emma captured something on camera that left her absolutely terrified. Late one night, while home alone and watching TV in her living room, she began hearing strange noises coming from her front door. Now, what follows is the disturbing footage that she recorded. At first, a series of creepy, unsettling sounds can be heard. We have faint knocking, scratching, and, shockingly, what sounds like Emma's own voice whispering, "I know you're in there." And moments later, the door handle begins to rattle, as if someone was trying to get inside. Emma checked through her windows but saw no one standing at the door. She hoped it was over, but 6 days later, this same terrifying experience returned.
And this is why I can't call the police, because when I go to look, there's no one here. I know it's hard to see, but I'm not opening the door. There's like no one out there. And look, this is a window. There's no picture, but this is a window, and you can see out there. And it's hard to see out there. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
This time the voice was way more aggressive, demanding, "Let me in." And yet again, when Emma looked outside, the porch was completely empty. And not knowing what she was dealing with, she refused to open the door. Emma now believes she might be dealing with a mimic, a creature known for imitating voices to lure victims closer. The disturbing part, the knocking and voices have continued every few nights since then. We might not have seen the last of whatever is haunting Emma's home. Until then, what do you guys think she's dealing with? You think it's really a mimic?
There's no one here. I know it's hard to see.
It's closing all of a sudden.
I'm sharing this with us.
There's nothing left to do. Everybody's...
Leandro was lying in bed when he began hearing strange rustling sounds coming from the back room. At first, he thought something had simply fallen over, but the noises didn't stop. They were sharp, deliberate, and way too distinct to ignore. And with his heart pounding, nervous as hell, he grabbed his phone and cautiously made his way toward the sound.
Será que é gato que tá aqui? Mexendo nas coisas? Mas não tem ninguém aqui. Ai, caramba. Acho que tem alguém aí.
isso? Para, que isso? Quem tá aí? Tranquei. Meu Deus, cara. Mãe,
O que tá
não
acontecendo?
sei. Parece que tem alguém aqui.
Nossa, tem que parar desses vídeos aqui, tô com medo já dessas coisas. Não tem
Mas-
ninguém, tem batendo na porta e vem cá.
When he opened the door, the man was lost for words. The entire room looked as though it had been torn apart. Objects scattered across the floor, drawers pulled open, and furniture slightly shifted out of place. It was the kind of mess a wild animal might make, except Leandro didn't own any pets. He froze, staring into the chaos. The man just slowly stepped back and closed the door. I guess he was trying to act like he didn't see that. But as he closed the door and tried to step back, that's when the handle began to rattle violently, as if something was on the other side, and it was desperately trying to get out. And Leonardo, he flung the door open again, only to be met with silence. The room, it was perfectly still. Everything appeared untouched, as though nothing had ever happened in the first place. Even the back door was locked tight, leaving no possible way for anyone or anything to have escaped. And that's when it hit him, whatever had made those noises, they hadn't gone anywhere. It was still inside. A married couple found themselves tormented by relentless poltergeist activity. You'd think facing it together might make it easier to get through it, but honestly, it was quite the opposite. What you're about to see captures a frightening surge of paranormal energy inside their home. And the most unsettling part about all of this is that this wasn't the first time this happened. For weeks, both husband and wife had been haunted by unexplainable events. They've had objects moving on their own, doors slamming, and eerie whispers echoing throughout the house at night.
Maybe I don't know, but this shit is like starting to really creep me out.
Yeah, that's why I said let's put it all away.
Maybe I know, but I'm just like nervous. Let's
I'm
go.
getting upset because I
We
just wanna
gotta
go
close it
away.
off. Let's close it away. Let's. Oh shit, baby, baby,
You
baby,
serious?
baby. I was trying to put it away. And what was that? Why the move like that? Did I hurt you, baby? Did I hurt you? Did I bump into you?
Yes.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm real sorry.
I'm done.
Baby, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was not my intentions, honey. Hold on.
I want to stop.
How the that motherfucker moving like that? Literally, that mother. Baby, you seen that? You seen that shit?
I told you, I'm literally done with this. I'm about to just go in the other room because you're starting to piss me off.
Baby,
I don't want to play around with this shit no more.
baby, I'm telling you, I don't want to play it neither, but this is crazy, baby.
Like, are you serious?
Like, the constant tension began to wear them down until the wife finally reached her breaking point. Exhausted and terrified, she declared that she no longer wanted to respond to the haunting. She believed that by refusing to acknowledge the spirit, by not giving it power, the poltergeist would eventually lose its hold and fade away. Now, I don't know whether or not her theory is right, or whether her husband will truly keep silent about this. We just don't know. Whatever happened next to this family, it remains an unsettling mystery to this day. A man was relaxing one evening, watching TV like he always do. Everything felt ordinary, peaceful even. But on this particular night, it seemed he wasn't watching TV alone. It seemed like something else was in his house, and it was watching alongside with him. And it was far too close for comfort either.
damn it. This is getting old. Shit! What the f? You gotta come out. What the f? Shit. This, I'm out of here.
Without warning, a sharp clatter echoed from the kitchen. Silverware had slid out of a drawer on its own, scattering all across the floor. Startled by all this commotion and noise, the man paused his TV show and got up to investigate, but when he entered the kitchen, it was completely empty, silent, cold, and utterly still. Confused, the man returned to his seat, trying to shake off the unease. But that's when he saw it. Out of the corner of his eye, a ghostly figure stood only a few feet away, motionless and staring directly at him. The sight was so shocking, so real, that he just froze in place, unable to breathe or move. This encounter was so intense, he claims that he nearly lost control of himself. And honestly, who wouldn't after coming face to face with something like this, especially if you live alone? A woman was sent by a realtor to clean what seemed like an ordinary house. Strangely, it wasn't her first time there. Apparently, she'd been called to the same property several times before. The realtor only offered a vague explanation to why, though, like new tenants never stayed for long, people often breaking their leases within weeks. He never really stated why. Well, one late night, after yet another family had abruptly moved out, she returned to clean the house once more, alone and quiet. She began her work, unaware that something terrifying was about to reveal itself.
Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque la gente no dura rentando. Rompe el contrato por una u otra cosa y tuvimos que venirla a limpiar el día de hoy porque ya mañana se van a mover. Se las quiero enseñar. Lo raro es que dice el realtor que no dura la gente. Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque rompe el contrato a la gente. Ay, no mames. Ya es noche. Estoy sola. Chingados estoy. No hay nada. Esta pinche casa la han rentado un chingo de veces y no sé por qué rompe el contrato la gente. Ay, no, déjenme regresar, sí, porque me dio cosas adentro.
As she dusted near a narrow hallway, she froze. See, a door at the end of the hall slowly started to open up on its own. No one was there, and trying to stay calm, she pressed on, walking closer to a pitch black room that I'm pretty sure she can feel that something or someone is in there.
¿Te imaginas? Para que la gente rompa el contrato acá es porque de plano no aguantan a vivir aquí. Y ahorita les voy a enseñar lo demás para allá. Déjenme prender la luz. ¿Dónde está la luz acá? Chingada madre. Ahí está. Ok, ahorita les voy a enseñar. Esta es una recámara. Se está poniendo ahorita tenso. Entonces, el Señor dice que ya van varias familias.
Moments later, the quiet was broken by faint, unexplainable noises echoing through the empty house. Whispers, footsteps, something shifting in the dark, and gripped by a mix of fear and also curiosity. I can't believe it, but she decided to find the source of the sound. What she discovered next nearly stopped her heart.
Iba a dejar grabando, pero la neta, Ya me está dando cosa. Se escucha el ruido por acá. No sé qué sea. Escuché mucho ruido. Yo creo que me voy a tener que ir.
Inside of this lightless room, she spotted a dark figure crouched over in the corner, barely visible yet undeniably human-shaped. And for a moment, it didn't move. It only watched. Terror overtook her, as every instinct in her body screamed at her to run.
Ay, no. Creo que me voy a regresar mañana mejor. Ya me voy a la chica. Esa pinche luz, la de acá la tengo que apagar.
After a while, she turned to flee, but before she could reach the front door, another one swung open on its own, as if blocking this woman's escape. That was all it took. She bolted from the house and never looked back. It was after that night, that experience, that's when she finally understood why every tenant that ever moved in there, she finally understood why they left so suddenly. Whatever haunted that property didn't want anyone staying there for long. On the quiet outskirts of Chile's bustling capital stands an abandoned house, untouched for years. Every local there knows exactly why no one dares to go near it. Outsiders, however, visitors, they have no idea. See, decades ago, a family of 3 was brutally murdered inside these very walls by a violent gang. And since that night, the house has remained frozen in time, gaining a terrifying reputation as one of Chile's most haunted places. We have residents claiming that doors slammed shut on their own, that objects are often seen crashing violently from shelves with no one nearby. The air inside is said to hum with a malevolent presence that's thick enough to make even the bravest visitors turn back in fear. See, what happens within this house showcases every hallmark of a true haunting, from classic poltergeist activity to unexplainable movement caught on camera. Anyone who dares to question the stories surrounding this place might lose their skepticism the moment they step inside. After all, where violent deaths happen, vengeful spirits are usually never that far behind.